Welcome back to our second segment this morning. As we mentioned earlier, what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be featuring a documentary that was produced on behalf of the Belize Red Cross, and it looks at the work that they have been doing in the country. The Belize Red Cross has been very instrumental in a number of areas. Humanitarian efforts, including hurricane relief, outreach, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to this feature, so we hope you enjoy.
Tropical Depression 16 was a sprawling, giant disturbance that impacted 6 of 7 Central American countries, making landfall in mid-October 2008 on the northeast coast of Honduras. Belize, to the north of the weather system, was pummeled for 7 days with record-setting torrential downpours. 109 communities across the Cayo, Belize, Orange Walk, and Corozal districts were substantially affected. Over 16,000 victims across these 4 districts were in urgent need of direct relief. Nearly 300 people had to be evacuated from their homes in Cayo, the hardest hit district. Search and rescue teams saved 90 people who had been caught in life-threatening situations. Braving such storm is always a monumental challenge. Coping with the aftermath is an even more mammoth task. Clearly, no one wants to face such a major disaster unprepared. It is against this backdrop that the Belize Red Cross has undertaken a project dubbed Building Safer and More Resilient Communities in Belize.
I am also the chairlady of this community, and we never get help from no organization before. It's the first time that we are getting assistance from the European government. And they are doing a great job so far, and I thank them very well for this assistance, because whenever any disaster, we always wonder where are we going, and now we are better prepared because now we have our own shelter.
It's really important to think and to integrate disaster risk reduction. You are living in an area where there is some risk linked with hurricane. You have also risk of floods, and it's for us it's a concern for the European side, Union, for all this country to try to help you to live with this and to preserve life. And if you have some good practices, be sure that lots of people can live with this kind of events.
To the Community-Based Disaster Preparedness Program, founded by the European Commission Directorate General for Humanitarian Aid, was completed in Belize in February 2009. The first Belizean ECHO-founded project covered 16 communities in the Stan Creek and Toledo districts. This second phase, which began in October 2009, covers the Cayo and Belize districts. The second ECHO-funded project is being undertaken through the Community-Based Disaster Preparedness Program, which reaches out to at-risk communities, teaching them how to prepare for natural disasters and how to protect themselves from unexpected catastrophe. The project identified key communities in Cayo and the Belize River Valley area, those that were severely affected by Tropical Depression 16 back in 2008, to undertake the community outreach program.
We work in total of 12 communities, 14 schools in Belize River Valley and in Cayo districts. 5 communities in Cayo, 7 schools in Cayo, 7 communities and 7 schools in Belize River Valley. What we have seen in Crooked Tree was when we started back in October, November last year, that they didn't really see how useful this would be to them to learn more about disaster risk reduction and how to prepare for disasters. But then with the help of our protected school officer, Mrs. Magana, and our field officer, Jesse Young, we have been able to explain to them, and they have been really receptive to the project, and they have learned a lot as we could see today.
The Community-Based Disaster Preparedness Program first aimed to increase community response capacity and preparedness through training of community disaster response teams in support of NEMO. It also took the opportunity to help communities create sound emergency plans. Mrs. Olive Moody was so moved by the compassion the Red Cross showed for the people of the Belize River Valley area that she decided to join the ranks of Red Cross volunteers.
After TD 16, Red Cross come and help us because we are affected by TD 16. And after, when I see the help that we get from Belize Red Cross, I decide my mind to be a volunteer. And after being the volunteer, I work along closely with Ms. Jessie Young, and she encouraged me to keep on be active. And after that, this team had set up the PECO 7, and so far we get into the project with the PECO 7, and they give us several trainings.
A major part of the project was to raise awareness and increase preparedness in schools. To do this, the Red Cross teams formed school safety committees, carried out educational activities, and created emergency plans at the school level. Today, students know a lot more about dealing with sudden disasters.
Let's go to something else. If there is an earthquake, right now you feel the earth shaking, what will you do? Okay, wow, thank you, get out. But what happens when you stop shaking? What do you do? Okay, you run to help the little ones, yes, that's one, but someone else has to do something more important than that.
You grab the first aid kit and then you're running out training.
Great! He grabs the first aid kit and he runs out to the safe zone and develop their first aid station. While the others do what he said, help to bring out the little ones to a safe zone. Very good. When there's a fire, what do we do?
Get the fire extinguisher.
With a fire extinguisher.
And then you spray from the bottom.
Okay, so from the bottom up, right? Okay, with smoke in there, so a lot of smoke. Then you crawl on the ground and you go where? Outside.
Saving lives is one of our premier mandates. We strive to improve survival by teaching emergency first aid response in the event of casualties. In Bullet Tree, emergency response simulation exercises engage eager learners, equipping them with the knowledge and skills they need to attend to the wounded. Making the wrong move at such a critical time can mean the difference between life and death. It is imperative, therefore, that communities prone to natural disasters have people with the know-how to help preserve life and limb. Bullet Tree was one of the villages in the Cayo district ravaged by Tropical Depression 16. The villagers are now better able to cope with crises that arise in times of natural disasters. Whereas the PECO 7 program equipped members of flood-prone communities with these life-saving skills, it is also ensured that they benefited from projects on the ground. Through this very exciting project, this Crooked 3 school, which also doubles as a hurricane shelter, was finally able to dispense with its outdoor pit latrines.
Since they've been having a problem with their toilets to the rear of the school since 1952. So on behalf of myself, the Village Council of Crooked Tree and the villagers of Crooked Tree, I would like to say thank you to the Red Cross and to the European Union for commissioning this project.
Through the community-based disaster preparedness program, the Belize Red Cross is improving its capacity to respond to disasters. By working through national intervention teams and psychosocial support teams and systematizing good practices, the Red Cross is ensuring that it is better able to meet the needs of persons affected by disasters at the most critical time.
On behalf of the communities that have benefited, the Red Cross thanks the European Commission and again the Norwegian Red Cross for assisting us, for making it possible for the Red Cross to go into these communities and bring that awareness that is much needed to be brought to the different homes, to the different schools, to the different groups within the communities to build awareness of preparedness, that it is very important to know what exists around you and where the danger lies, as well as where capacities are that you can utilize properly for the betterment of your community in times of disaster.
I think there was, during the initial stages, some slow going that took a little gearing up to bring back into line. There were some unique challenges of bringing together people from the community, and those were met very clearly with enthusiasm by the staff. One of the best programs that I've preliminarily looked at is the school program. There was a lot of enthusiasm among the members of the school, the students as well as the teachers and the parents of the students as well. So I think that all in all, it was a very positive experience.
This dedicated humanitarian effort has knitted together workers and community members, forming alliances that will prove vital in years to come.
So happy that we have worked so long together. I'm so sorry it's coming to an end. But I think the children will prove to me today that they have learned quite a bit. We are going to give them a little quiz, nothing very, very hard for you to do. And we brought some gifts for you, your writing notepads, some school pouches, and something very special, which is a large outdoor Riskland game.
Many of you do not know what it was, to have outdoor toilets, but now for the new year 2011, our children will be treated to special indoor bathrooms. We thank the Red Cross, we thank the European Union, the Norwegian Red Cross. We thank Ms. Magania for working along with our children, preparing them. And I would want to thank the parents. We had such faithful parents who came out every Saturday.
Thank you very much. We just want to say we really appreciate it. The project brought the whole community together really, really quick, and everybody put in. We really appreciate it. If there's a way how we could repay you guys, let us know if you want to come down for a little vacation. Beautiful.
Like the Crooked Tree teachers, students and parents, other community members such as Rosella Robinson of Flowers Bank were very grateful for the work done under the community-based disaster preparedness program. A pump was provided to improve portable water supply in that village.
So I think it's very useful, and we thank Red Cross very much for this project that they have done for us. No?
We will have next year, beginning of next year, a new action plan. The idea is to share all these experiences from different communities, different schools, and after to do some recommendation and to set up some new project. So this we try to have some kind of demonstrative effect. It will be for the next 2 years. At the beginning of February, we are going to set up a new DPECO action plan, which is a disaster preparedness action plan.
It's important to remember that it's funded 70% by the European Commission, 30% by the Norwegian Red Cross, and implemented by Belize Red Cross.
The Building Safer and More Resilient Communities in Belize project was funded by the European Union and executed by the Belize Red Cross with technical and financial support from the Norwegian Red Cross in the Kaya communities of Arenal, Kaya Creek, Duck Run 1, Bullet Tree and Santa Familia, and in the Belize River Valley communities of Isabella Bank, Crooked Tree, Maypen, Scotland Half Moon, Lemonal, Flowers Bank and Rancho Dolores.
The work of the Belize Red Cross is so diverse, Jim. When you look at some of the projects that they're involved in across this country. They go to some of the far reaches where we ordinarily don't get to go, and we don't really see firsthand some of the situations, including the hardships and the difficulties that residents in those areas are faced with. And you have the Red Cross, members of the Red Cross Society, being out there providing that kind of assistance and outreach. It's interesting.
And I like that we can shift from the mentality of, oh, what is the government doing? I mean, there are so many humanitarian organizations that are working to improve and develop our country, including the Red Cross. And so in the areas, in the pockets where the government is not, able to access as readily as these kind of communities, because in many instances, people are able to reach out to the Red Cross because they have friends who volunteer or have family members who are part of it. Good to know that as humans, we don't have to wait on, some demand to come in and swoop in and rescue us. We could just rely on each other and rely on organizations like the Red Cross, because that's what they're there for. So we really want to commend the people who volunteer in any kind of aspect, whether it be with humanitarian efforts or animal rescue efforts or environmental efforts. And we could see that there's a need for it, obviously, and there are people who are willing to lend a hand, and that's always a good thing.
Perfectly. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to be discussing the Quebec Forum for 2017. We have a few guests who will be joining us on the set after the break, and then we will get into a discussion on Quebec and education, secondary education. Stick around, we'll be back after this commercial message.